Did you know? There's something secretly controlling you every single day, at every moment. It pushes you to work tirelessly, skipping meals and sleep, just to achieve a goal. But when you finally reach it, all you feel is emptiness. This powerful force isn't anyone else. It's dopamine, the greedy molecule in your brain. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, if only I could have this, I'd be happy? And then what happens? That joy disappears faster than a fleeting dream. Dopamine doesn't bring happiness. It makes you endlessly chase after happiness. So how can you escape the trap it sets? This video will give you the answer you need to break free from this endless cycle.
Stick around until the end to discover, are you a slave to dopamine, or the one who can truly master it? Dopamine, a term that may sound like dry science, but in reality, it's the switch that controls your desires, motivations, and even feelings of disappointment. But hold on. If you think dopamine is a happiness chemical, I'm about to reveal a truth that may completely change how you see life. Dopamine doesn't create joy, it creates the anticipation of joy. Imagine you're a monkey in a strange experiment. Scientists place you in front of two doors. When a light flashes on one door, you know for sure there's food behind it. Your heart races, your eyes light up, dopamine floods your brain. But here's the surprising part. The moment you get the food and eat it, the dopamine vanishes instantly. What does this mean? We don't feel happy when we achieve what we want. We feel happy when we anticipate it happening.
Now what does this mean for you and me? Dopamine manipulates us daily. It drives you to work, earn money, and chase after every new thing. But in the end, you never feel it's enough. Have you ever been stuck in this feeling? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts.
Dopamine isn't just a molecule in your brain. It's a conductor orchestrating your every behavior. Think about it. When was the last time you truly felt happy? It wasn't when you achieved your goal, but when you were imagining and anticipating it, wasn't it? That's the power of dopamine. But here's the catch. It's also the reason you feel exhausted and perpetually unsatisfied. Let's take a look at your everyday life. When you scroll through social media, have you noticed how you keep swiping up and down, searching for something interesting or new? That feeling, the constant search, is dopamine at work. It doesn't let you stop because it convinces you, just a little more, and you'll find something truly worthwhile. But the truth is, social media platforms are designed to keep you hooked. They exploit dopamine to make you addicted to anticipation.
Or think back to the first time you bit into a rich, creamy slice of cake. At that moment, dopamine exploded in your brain, making you think, this is the most amazing thing ever. But by the second or third bite, that feeling began to fade. Did the cake suddenly lose its flavor? No, dopamine had simply finished its job, driving you to seek something novel, only to immediately dismiss what you already have. Now think about this. How many aspects of your life are being manipulated by dopamine? Your hobbies, your relationships, even your biggest goals? Are you living to truly experience life? Or are you just chasing the feelings that dopamine creates? Don't hesitate. Share your thoughts in the comments below.
The real problem isn't whether dopamine is good or bad. The problem is, are you letting it control your life? Dopamine exists to push you forward, to achieve more. But if you don't know how to manage it, you'll always live in a state of constant craving and never truly experience joy. I know you might be asking, so how can I master dopamine instead of being controlled by it? The answer isn't to eliminate it, that's impossible. Instead, you need to learn how to build a healthy relationship with dopamine so it becomes your ally, not your enemy. And that's exactly what I'm going to share next.
Step 1. Focus on the process, not the result. Let me start with a question. What truly makes you happy? The moment you achieve a goal, or the experiences you have while working towards it? If you're like most people, you'll realize the greatest joy comes not from reaching the destination, but from the emotions you feel along the way. This is how dopamine works. It motivates you to keep moving forward, but quietly disappears as soon as you get what you want. So how can you break free from this trap? Imagine a simple, everyday example. You decide to learn how to cook a complex dish you've always loved. At first, you're excited to search for recipes, buy the ingredients, and picture the finished dish. But when the meal is finally ready, the joy doesn't last as long as you'd hoped. You might even feel a little empty. What now?
The solution lies in shifting your mindset. Instead of focusing solely on the outcome, the delicious meal, learn to enjoy each step of the process. Savor the thrill of choosing fresh ingredients, the satisfaction of watching everything come together, and even the little mistakes that make you laugh at yourself. This doesn't just make the experience more fulfilling, but it also keeps you motivated to try new things. One essential tip: reward yourself for completing small milestones. When you finish chopping all the ingredients, take a moment to acknowledge your effort and feel good about it before moving to the next step. Recognizing these small wins helps dopamine function at a steady level, preventing burnout from waiting for a big reward at the end.
This mindset can apply to any part of your life. If you're learning a new skill, don't just focus on the day you'll master it. Enjoy every small improvement you make along the way. Every tiny step, every 1% progress, is a meaningful part of your journey. By focusing on the process instead of the result, you not only live more fully in the moment, but also build a healthier relationship with dopamine. Try it now. What's one thing you're working on where you can start enjoying the small steps? Let me know in the comments.
Step 2. Set limits on dopamine triggers. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a cycle you couldn't break out of, like scrolling through social media for hours without realizing how much time has passed? Or eating one slice of cake only to crave a second and then a third? This is how dopamine works. It drives you to keep seeking, but it never truly lets you feel satisfied. So how can you escape this endless loop? Start by observing yourself. The next time you pick up your phone to scroll through TikTok or Instagram, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it because you genuinely want to find something meaningful, or are you simply being led by dopamine to chase after novelty and surprise? If you realize you're repeating an unconscious habit, that's your cue to set boundaries.
Picture this. You're standing in front of a table filled with desserts. You know eating too much isn't good for you. But every time you see something delicious, dopamine sends a signal, just one more bite. At this moment, try pausing and changing your response. Instead of reaching for another dessert, drink a glass of water or take a short walk. This small break helps your brain cool down and brings dopamine back to a balanced state. One effective strategy is practicing what's called a dopamine detox. No, this doesn't mean giving up everything you enjoy. Instead, dedicate a portion of your day or week to unplug from highly stimulating activities. For instance, take one day off from social media, turn off notifications, and skip watching videos or playing games. Replace these activities with simpler ones, like reading, walking in a park, or even just sitting quietly and reflecting. Initially, you might feel restless because your brain is used to constant stimulation. But over time, you'll find yourself feeling calmer and more focused.
Here's the magic of limiting dopamine triggers. As you reduce overstimulation, you start rediscovering joy in the little things. A good meal, a quiet afternoon with a book, or even the sound of birds chirping outside your window. Dopamine doesn't disappear, it just stops overpowering you, allowing you to enjoy life more meaningfully. Let's try it together. Identify one major dopamine trigger in your life. Maybe it's social media, gaming, or junk food. Set a clear limit, like I'll spend no more than 30 minutes a day on social media. Observe how you feel as you make these changes. You'll likely find yourself gaining control over your habits and finding satisfaction in simpler, healthier experiences. Remember, the goal isn't to give up joy, but to enjoy it in a balanced and intentional way. The next time you feel caught in a cycle of overstimulation, take a step back and observe. You'll find yourself reclaiming control over your actions and emotions. Try it out and let me know how it works for you.
Step 3. Achieving the flow state, the key to peak performance. Have you ever experienced a moment when you were completely immersed in what you were doing? Time seemed to stand still, distractions faded away, and you felt unstoppable. This is called the flow state, a mental state where dopamine works at an optimal level, helping you focus, create, and accomplish tasks with incredible efficiency. But how can you intentionally reach this state? Let's start with an example. Imagine you're writing an important essay or painting a picture. If your phone keeps buzzing, or people around you keep interrupting, it's nearly impossible to concentrate. The flow state can only occur in a distraction-free environment with a task that challenges you just enough. Not too easy to bore you, and not too hard to overwhelm you.
The first step to achieving flow is choosing a task that truly interests you and setting a clear, achievable goal. For instance, if you're working on a writing project, don't stress about finishing the entire piece at once. Break it down into smaller, manageable steps, like completing one paragraph or section in a focus session. This makes the task less daunting and gives you a clear starting point. Here's where techniques like the Pomodoro method come in handy. This method involves working in 25-minute intervals of uninterrupted focus, followed by a short 5-minute break. During the work period, eliminate all distractions, put your phone on silent, close unrelated tabs on your computer, and let others know you need quiet time. These intervals train your brain to stay engaged and help dopamine stabilize, preventing mental fatigue.
The beauty of the flow state is that it's not just about getting things done. It's about finding deep satisfaction in the process. When you complete a task in this state, dopamine combines with other brain chemicals like endorphins, creating a sense of accomplishment and lasting happiness. This is the kind of reward that fuels your motivation for the next challenge. Let me share a practical example. Imagine you're preparing for an important exam. Instead of multitasking, studying while checking your phone or listening to music, dedicate 25 minutes to focus entirely on one topic. Sit in a quiet space, turn off your notifications, and immerse yourself in the material. Afterward, reward yourself with a short break, like a cup of tea or a quick walk. You'll find that not only do you study more effectively, but you also retain information better.
Or, if you're working on a creative project like designing or brainstorming, try the same approach. Remove all distractions, focus on one aspect of the project, and allow yourself to get lost in the work. The sense of accomplishment you'll feel when you finish will be far more fulfilling than any quick dopamine hit from distractions. The flow state isn't just a mental phenomenon, it's a skill you can develop. Start by creating the ideal environment for focus, breaking tasks into smaller goals, and committing to periods of deep work. Have you ever experienced the flow state before? If so, what were you doing and how did it feel? Share your story in the comments, I'd love to hear about it.
Step 4. Beware of dopamine traps. Let me ask you this. Have you ever planned to check social media for just a few minutes, only to find yourself still scrolling an hour later? Or promised yourself just one bite of dessert, only to finish the entire cake? These are classic examples of dopamine traps, carefully designed to exploit our brain's natural craving for novelty and reward. But how can you escape them? To understand how dopamine traps work, let's take a closer look. Imagine waking up in the morning. The first thing you do is reach for your phone. One notification leads to another, and before you know it, you're lost in a sea of memes, videos, and updates. What started as a quick check has turned into a dopamine spiral. Social media platforms, games, and even junk food are all engineered to keep you hooked by offering endless small rewards, likes, comments, or that next bite of sugar that your brain can't resist.
How to break free. The key to escaping dopamine traps is to break the cycle and regain control. The first step is awareness. The next time you feel drawn to check your phone, ask yourself, am I doing this because it's meaningful or because I'm seeking a quick dopamine hit? Recognizing the trap is half the battle won. For example, imagine a table full of snacks. Each time you see a tempting treat, dopamine whispers, just one more. Instead of giving in, try pausing. Drink a glass of water or take a short walk. These small actions can interrupt the dopamine loop and give your brain time to reset.
Dopamine detox, a simple solution. One powerful method to combat dopamine traps is the dopamine detox. Don't worry, this doesn't mean giving up everything you love. It's about setting aside time to step back from overstimulation.
Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate dopamine but to manage it intentionally. By setting boundaries, you'll find greater joy in the things that truly matter. What's your biggest dopamine trap? Let me know in the comments, and let's work together to break free.
Step 5. Combine dopamine with other happiness chemicals for lasting joy. Here's something fascinating. Dopamine is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to happiness. Alongside it, your brain also produces serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins, each playing a unique role in creating feelings of peace, connection, and fulfillment. The secret to lasting joy isn't about relying solely on dopamine, but learning to balance it with these other happiness chemicals. Serotonin, the chemical of calm and contentment. If dopamine makes you chase more, serotonin teaches you to appreciate what you already have. It's the calm after the storm, the sense of peace that comes from feeling content and grounded. You can boost serotonin in simple ways, like spending time in nature, practicing gratitude, or meditating.
Try this. Before going to bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as enjoying a delicious meal, having a kind conversation, or feeling the warmth of the sun. This practice not only increases serotonin but also shifts your focus away from what you lack to what you already have. Oxytocin, the connection hormone. Often called the love chemical, oxytocin is what makes you feel bonded to others. It's released during acts of kindness, physical touch, and moments of deep connection. Whether it's hugging a loved one, playing with a pet, or having a heartfelt conversation, oxytocin helps counterbalance dopamine's relentless drive for more.
Think about the last time you shared a genuine moment with someone close to you. Didn't it feel incredibly fulfilling? Building these connections not only enhances oxytocin, but also enriches your overall emotional well-being. Endorphins, the natural painkillers. Endorphins are your brain's way of easing stress and creating a sense of relaxation. They're often released during physical activity, laughter, or creative pursuits. You don't need to run a marathon to boost endorphins. Even a short walk, a dance session to your favorite song, or a good laugh can do wonders.
Here's a quick tip. Next time you feel stressed, take a 10-minute break to move your body, stretch, jog, or simply dance around your living room. Not only will it refresh your mind, but it will also flood your system with feel-good endorphins. Balancing the chemicals. The real magic happens when dopamine works in harmony with serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. For instance, you might set a dopamine-driven goal, like learning a new skill. Along the way, serotonin helps you enjoy the small milestones, oxytocin keeps you connected with supportive friends or mentors, and endorphins keep you energized and stress-free.
A practical daily routine. Here's how you can combine these happiness chemicals in a single day. Morning. Start with 10 minutes of gratitude journaling or meditation to boost serotonin. Afternoon. Spend time connecting with a loved one or a pet to release oxytocin. Evening. Engage in light exercise, such as yoga or a walk, to generate endorphins. Throughout the day, focus on small dopamine-driven goals, like completing a work task or learning something new.
Take the first step. Happiness isn't about chasing dopamine endlessly. It's about creating balance and harmony within your brain. Start by adding one of these practices to your routine and see how it transforms your day. Which one will you try first? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how it works for you. You've just learned the 5 steps to understanding and mastering dopamine. Focusing on the process rather than the result, limiting overstimulation, achieving the flow state, avoiding dopamine traps, and balancing dopamine with other happiness chemicals. The big question now is, what's your next step?
Imagine a life where you're not constantly chasing after fleeting highs. Instead, you're present in each moment, enjoying the small victories, and feeling deeply connected to the people and experiences that matter most. Imagine waking up each day feeling balanced, purposeful, and free from the endless loop of more. A new perspective on dopamine. Dopamine isn't your enemy, it's a powerful tool. When used wisely, it can motivate you to achieve incredible things and create a fulfilling life. But it's up to you to decide. Will you let dopamine control you, or will you become the master of it?
Start small. Choose one step from this video. Maybe it's taking a break from social media, setting a tiny goal to focus on, or writing down 3 things you're grateful for tonight. Whatever you choose, commit to it, and watch how it shifts your perspective and energy. Now it's your turn. Which step are you going to try first? Share your plans in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more content like this.
Most importantly, share this video with someone you think might need it. Together, we can help each other break free from the traps of dopamine and live fuller, more meaningful lives. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I'll be here to guide you on your journey to becoming the best version of yourself. See you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring how to master your mind, your habits, and your happiness.